stop, drop. Why do we stop for red? Oh, I don't know. But we still stop for red. They say, freak, when you're singled out, does the red filter through? Yeah, red does filter through. Y'all like my stop sign? All right, so why do we stop for that? Why does red universally mean the word stop? Why is as the Chevelle song, it filters through? According to science, red, the color red has like this wavelength, and it's the longest one. So it can be travels distance through time and space through our eyeballs quicker than most other colors. You point red out, or do you? I just want to know what's up with red. Why did red mean stop? Why does red mean danger? Why is red universally accepted as what it's accepted as? Who decided this? God? Why is big red chewing gum red? An apple a day keep the doctor away. Have anything to do with it being red? Why, when we're done with a book, is it red? And I want answers. Why do we stop for red?
The color red is the furthest on the spectrum, visual spectrum. Each color has its own spot. Red's at the very end. It has the longest wavelength. It having the longest wavelength means it can be seen better by the eye. The shortest named color, R-E-D, red. It is the shortest named color. They're tied with tan because it's on the visible spectrum. We see the visible spectrum with our eyeballs. Science. Scientific fact. But before even science could prove this to the world, I guess common sense did. Because people was like, hey man, you see that red apple over there? I see it better than I can see that green pear. Because I don't see no green pear. I see a red apple. You see that tree? You see that tree? But we sure can see red good. Yeah, we can. Why is that? I think our primitive brain has something to do with it, which is our prehistoric brain. Brain that we're all, like the base set of instinct. Well, that's why when we're children, first time we see a snake, we know something's up with that shit. First time we see a spider, something's up with that shit. Because one of our ancestors got bit by them sons of bitches. And they passed that shit on to us. So I appreciate that, the Cherokee Indians. I really do appreciate it, the Cherokee Indians. I appreciate it. Yeah, my great-great-great-great-grandma, her name's Sundance, and some Irish dude. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the tip. But I think that's got something to do with red, too. It's in our prehistoric mind. That's why we see it. And there's a couple of things I think, a couple of reasons why I think red is a very important color. Red's always been associated with caution and danger. In the 1840s, the British railroads adopted this flag, lamp, and semaphore signal system for their railroad. What it meant was that this lantern type thing with glass, when it lit red, it meant the universal word of danger, or prepare to stop. But then there was a white, and the white means safety, which I guess meant slow down, drive safely, keep your eyes peeled. And green meant go safely. They adapted that from old warehouse industries, old industry buildings, and their machines used to have this same system, basically where the red light meant the machine was off, and the green light meant go with caution, which is still used today. When it's red at the door for the bathroom and it says occupied, don't go. Green means vacant. Better proceed with caution. You don't know what kind of shit got stirred up in there before. They used the signal system for a while until a lens for the stop light, the red, fell down and appeared to be white, which meant go safely or prepare to go safely. It ended up causing a huge accident. Okay, if this lens falls, then this light's going to be white. We got to change this white color. And they ended up changing it to the color yellow, thus creating our stoplight system. Traditionally, red has always been the color for danger or caution. Color red saved lives a lot. Many different ways, too. It's a very important color. So since red has the longest wavelength on the visible spectrum, it's less likely to be interfered by light scattering sources, which that is Fog. Smoke. Locusts coming for your fucking crops. The black. A plague. A herd of damn rabid bats. Any of these things could be light scattering sources because it's interfering, basically putting like a little screen or something between you and your light source. Let's do an experiment. See, you can still see in this experiment here that the green spot is kind of more gone. It's not coming through the smoke as much as the red. Go red rocket. That's because the red's piercing his little wavelength through. It's poking his little the red color's red rocketing out. By the 1860s, traffic conditions in London promoted officials to seek a way of controlling their carriages with a signal system that opted for the railroad scheme. So they took in the red, yellow, and green light. At first, though, they were dumb, because they decided to add a microphone to the system. So the light was red. You're getting your fucking stupid ass T-Mobile, not T-Mobile, Model T that goes mobile. They pull up to the light's red. They're like, okay, the light's red. I want to go. Honk, honk. The light will turn green. Yeah, that ain't go good. Bunch of good horses and Model Ts died that year. Bessie was taken out by damn Frank's Model T. And by 1935, the Federal Highway Administration standardized that all traffic lights require green, yellow, and most important, red. I change clothes every 5 minutes, don't I? Fire trucks are red too. Universally known, fire trucks are red if you need it to stand out. Back in the old days, before there was even cars, back in horse and carriage days, they painted the wagon red that had all the buckets of water in it. I'm sure it didn't have fire hoses back in the day. If they didn't have a motor, I don't know, maybe they did have hoses back then. That's not the point of this video. The bucket of water truck was painted wagon. The wagon or the carriage or whatever, since they used to paint it red back in the day, some theories are that red paint was cheaper, and back then firefighters were volunteers. So if they were volunteers, they probably didn't want to spend too much money on the paint job of the bucket of water truck or bucket of water carriage or whatever they had. There's probably a bunch of black Model Ts back there. Any vehicle they did have back in the day was the Model T, and it only came in black. If you had a bunch of black trucks out there and one had the buckets of water in it to put the fire out, it'd take a long time to figure out which one had the bucket of water. Paint one red, boom, it stands out like a bullseye. Bullseyes, that's the target. That's what you're supposed to hit. Bullseyes are red. It's like your super center target store. In fact, red has just always been something that your eye focus to. Because our minds is always catches where we see red at. Because red always means stop or caution. It's programmed in our prehistoric brain. It's obvious. You see a stop sign, you're going to stop and look, and you're going to see what that stop sign is telling you to stop. Why does it tell you to stop there? See a red light? If you're dreaming about seeing a red light, I bet you'll keep the damn blanket off trying to stop the brakes. Say you got a kid that you're teaching to drive, and you're in the passenger seat and they're in the driver's seat. They're going up to a red light. You're trying to hit the brake on your side, right? Red's telling you to stop. You're trying your best to stop. Smack the kid inside the head and tell him to hit the fucking brake. I bet all kinds of shit burnt the hell down because all they had was buckets of water, right? Red was universally known as the fire truck. And so still to this day, we believe red is fire trucks. You think of a fire truck right now, you're going to think of a red fire truck. Most fire trucks ain't even red no more. You know that, right? Like, even though red is got the longest wavelength, it's only got better to be seen by day. Emergency vehicles have adapted other colors. At nighttime, the red don't quite go as far as blue. Blue lights now are way better to see at night. And there's something better than both of them, and that's yellow. That's why fire trucks and most emergency vehicles are using yellow lights, flashing yellow lights. They pierce through the light better than blue or red. And they're all three primary colors. Not freaking rocket science. It's science, but not rocket science. It's still, red's always been done first. Speaking of hot, fire. Fire's red. Well, it is red at certain degrees. When is fire red? A flame's color depends on two things, the temperature of the flame and the material being burnt. The main color of the flame changes with temperature. Something is red hot from 977 1,833 degrees, you'll have the red hot flame, just like the hot sauce. Red's what keeps us alive. If you don't have enough red in your body, you're dead. It's called blood. Hemoglobin transports oxygen throughout your body in a fast-moving taxi system that keeps your cells and tissues operating the way it's supposed to. Each hemoglobin molecule contains a protein called heme, and that is pretty much iron. It contains iron. When iron reacts to oxygen, it becomes red. It's the oxygen reacting with iron, creating red. So our chemical reaction is why our blood's red. Red being used for stop signs and intersections. Sometimes red is also a very beautiful color. It's also, it's associated with Valentine's Day, which is very easy to see why. Red comes from the heart. The little heart symbol's red. Your heart is red. Hemoglobin, iron. Red was the first color used for painting and dyeing. Also, it's always been around. Express yourself. People have been expressing themselves with the color red for a long time. People have been using it for their creativity. Strawberries are delicious, and they're beautifully red. They're born green, but then they ripe and become red. The same thing that turns when the fall hits and all them leaves turn, the ones that turn red, not brown, but the ones turn to that bright red, they have the same chemical that turns strawberries red. Or the same whatever it is. It's not rocket science. It's science. Guys that got the nickname red, they usually the guys are outside getting sunburnt and tan and turn a little red. Redneck. Fella that works outside a lot. Okay, red comes from the Sanskrit word radura. I think that's how you say it. And the Proto-Germanic word rathas. Something like that. I don't know how they got red out of either one of those, but okay, we're gonna roll with it. The oldest evidence of the color red, apparently, is ochre. Ochre is clay infused with rust. Wow, I would have never. Okay, but they found this in the cave in South Africa that archaeologists estimate was inhabited 170,000 years ago. 170,000 years ago, they were using red to, create, decorate, make stuff. Red is associated with these key things as well. Color of blood and Christ and the fires of hell. War, wealth, power, love, glory, and beauty. God of war, Mars. Courage, goodness of love. Hathor, love and fidelity. Passion and desire. All that's in Roman mythology. Romans loved red. They wore red on their tunics and shit when they fought. Oh, and apparently it also was adorned by gladiators. Were adorned in red. How about that? In the Middle Ages, kings adopted the color to show their God-given right to rule. The red crown, I guess. Red is also to use to symbolize sacrifice, danger, and courage. Sacrifice, danger, courage. All three of them can lead to your imminent doom. So, see red. Oh, by the way, bulls don't see the color red. They see it as a light gray. They just get mad at you waving shit in front of their face. Bulls don't see red. They see gray. And they don't like you rubbing that shit in their face. So, myth busted. Hey, don't mind me. I left some rose petals going up to a bed. I want you to follow them, and I'll see you there. And we're going to make babies. No? Well, this red wine I bought, which is known to be worldwide the high end of wine, spent a whopping $26 on it, by the way. Guess I'll take it back and get my money back. You know what? I knew I shouldn't have got involved with you crazy ass redheads, which make up 2% of the population of the planet. 13% of that being in Scotland, 10% of that being in Ireland. Yet me over here in the United States, I managed to find some of the craziest damn redheads. Another video, another time for that. So, why does red mean stop? They actually got a little bit of history on this. This guy, a farmer, was trying to wave and stop a train. So what he did was take off his shirt and waved at the train over his head with the shirt. Shirt was red. And it stopped the train. If a simple farmer can wave a red shirt over his head and stop a train in its tracks, then that's the power of red. And what I truly believe the power of red is, and what it does, and what it really truly means is one word: attention. It deserves our attention. It demands our attention. It's an attention grabber. Anything red, our eyes are going to focus to. Because we know it means stop. We know it means caution. We know it deserves our attention. That's why it demands it. That's why it gets our attention without us even noticing it. The color red is so powerful that it grabs our attention without us knowing it. It demands our attention, and we give it to it. And that's the true purpose of red. Is it the most important color? To us, probably so. Hey, red backwards is dirt.